Biggest crowd ever in the Capitol Centre. Apparently so. I wouldn't know because I don't really watch WWE on a weekly basis. I'm trying to do things that I actually enjoy. And there are lots of other wrestling promotions which are better than WWE. We could be here all day naming those, but I generally get to know what's happening through things like YouTube and headlines and things that are trending and Twitter and all that, and these main events. So, this is NXT Takeover in your house, because it's in your house. Remember when In Your House was big and WWE were crap? Well, now we're crap again. Yeah, it's nostalgia, you see. Nostalgia for the crap times. Yeah. Right. With people back in, and I've got some notes, so I'm going to be looking down here. With people back in, it's always interesting to see what's over and what's not. You see, they've been working in a vacuum, really. I mean, I know we've got the sort of the Thunderdome where people are picking their noses and eating things and stuff like that, you know. But really, you've got piped in stuff, haven't you? So it's interesting to see what they've created. It's all done in a vacuum, and now we'll see what's over. And there's quite a lot that's not. Okay, first of all, you've got Todd Pettingill, because he used to do In Your House. He's got a little beard, just to make us think, yeah, it's 15 years ago, or even more. Look at me. I might go and listen to some new metal later on. He apparently would really like a full-time return to the WWE. You don't say. Now, he's generally doing all the sort of older stuff. Oh, look, I put this video in the video machine. Well, we don't do that anymore, Todd. The man is a DJ, so you would expect he would know what's going on. It's just a bit silly, really. But he can do silly. Todd Pettingill was hired to do silly in the first place. And he still can. Okay, so, of the matches we've got here, some work, some don't. First match does, which is MSK and Bronson Reed versus Legado del Fantasma. And really, the odd man out here is Bronson Reed. Now, I like Bronson Reed. I like the thick boy. I liked him before he was Bronson Reed. Yeah, but really, he's your US champion. Stop putting him in matches with smaller people because he doesn't do that. He needs someone who's a little bit bigger. Good match, though, this, actually. Some really good high spots, including a hammock for Joaquin Wilde, not to sleep, between both of MSK, then a senton from Reed. That's got to have hurt those joints. Ow, me arms. It's got to have hurt them. Got to have hurt them. Another great spot when they all jumped off over the top rope, 4 of them, and Reed thought, I'll have a go at that as well. Seen that recently done in CCW. It's great here as well. And, of course, he carries 2 men on his shoulders. That's a good spot. They do tend to jump on his shoulder. Shall I have a go? We're doing our spot now. Better jump on then. It's not ideal. Let's see what else happens. Oh, yeah. There's generally a one of those lockdown spots. You will see a lot of these still going on. A lockdown spot is, I will take you through the barrier. That happens to Escobar from Reed. Of course it does. But the spot of this match, and maybe even the spot of the night, is that Escobar gets Bronson Reed up and hits a Michinoku driver. Now, he doesn't just drop him. He doesn't half do it. He delivers it beautifully. And for that, he should have had the pin. But, of course, you can't get that because this is a winner-takes-all thing, isn't it? Where all the belts are at stake. Because they're throwing mud at a wall and seeing what sticks and what trickles down. That's what they're doing. Got to find a reason for people to watch at some point, ain't you? In the end, of course, MSK and Bronson Reed get the win. Of course they do. And Stephen Regal running about. Not seen him running for ages. Trying to stop a bit of a spat in the car park. Because these things happen, you know, when people are angry. Oh, yes. Next up, I wouldn't have minded a bit of anger. It's Mercedes Martinez versus Zia Lee. And the crowd are absolutely silent for this. Some of the good moves here, and there aren't that many to be honest, are a nice butterfly suplex from Mercedes and a good Inzaguri, which really slaps on Mercedes' head from Xia Li for the pin. That's it. And as I say, the crowd couldn't give a monkeys. They don't care. They're just not over. And neither is LA Knight. Now, I don't mind the thing about, okay, it's the $1 million belt, because in the first place, it wasn't a proper belt. There's no legacy to it. It's not got a storied history. In '88, Andre the Giant won a match and gifted the belt, because of cash and Bobby Heenan and all that, to Ted DiBiase. It was held up by Jack Tunney, who was a real commissioner, you know, and consequently we had the 1988 WrestleMania 4 tournament. Remember that? I'm old enough too. Yeah. And so, Virgil's won it in the past. You know, it's traded hands. So it's not as if I think this is a marvellous belt. And they've wheeled out Ted DiBiase, so it's nice to get a bit of money, Ted, and that's fair enough. This is a ladder match, and so we've seen what happens in ladder matches with two people. Generally, it's now 4 or 5 or 6 or 25 or 32, and so you can give you more action, you know, get 6 ladders in the ring and have a good play around with them. We kind of know what we're looking at with a ladder match. And that's the case here. And it's really disappointing because they didn't half bump. One of the highlights of this match was a gold spray painted ladder which came out. But things like, I'm just looking to see what's going on. Oh yeah, there was a nice backdrop on Grimes onto the edge of the ladder. That really must have hurt. And then he whipped Knight into there, so it clotheslined him because it was stuck in the corner. That is very nice. At one point, Grimes climbed a lighting gantry, but we've seen Io Shirai do that sort of thing and sort of jumped on. He didn't just fall, he jumped on Knight. L.A. Knight. Yeah. What else did we get? Oh, yeah, he's Grimes also backdropped him onto a ladder that was set up on the outside, and then Grimes was pushed off the top of a ladder and fell onto another ladder, which must have really hurt his back. And they're bumping like crazy, but I've seen it. I've seen it before, see? It's a shame, really, because they really gave it their all, I think. LA Knight won in the end, takes down the ladder to absolute silence and a few scattered boos. And then he's presented by it and gets pyro to absolute silence and a few scattered boos. He's being pushed quickly. I think Barrett said, is he still called Wade Barrett? Anyway, he said that he'd been on every NXT main event or every NXT event since he came here. And that's one of the issues. You know, I liked him before he was LA Knight, but the crowd don't. Okay. Here's Regal trying to break up another spat. Come on now, lads. Don't do this, lads. Come on, lads. Come down and have a nice cup of Bovril. Come on. And now we get the match of the night, or one of the matches of the night. The last 2 matches are matches of the night, probably. And it's Ember Moon versus the champion, Raquel Gonzalez. They really worked well together here. Some really good moves, and the crowd were into it, which I'm really pleased about. So, things like, it's a simple match with Ember Moon being smaller and consequently feistier, because small people are always feisty, aren't they, in wrestling? They certainly are. And the power from Gonzalez. She hits a one-armed sidewalk slam, which is good, and then a twisting senton off the top. Really nicely done. She also smacks a modified Alabama slam. That's got to have knocked all of the wind out of Ember Moon, really. But Moon comes back, and she doesn't just get, okay, you get a few kicks and a few punches, and then you get smacked down by a big clothesline or punch. She does smack Gonzalez, who falls, and then she follows up with a really quick code red. She also hits a beautiful DDT from the top to the outside. That is just really nicely done. And she then hits a sort of eclipse from a counter, then gets the eclipse, but that fiendish Dakota Kai is there to put the foot on the ropes. It's on the ropes, referee. It's on the ropes. You can see. Yeah. So eventually, Gonzalez wins with the one-armed powerbomb, chokeslam, powerbomb thing. And that was a really good match and a really nice way to ease us in to the heavyweight championship match, which is a 5-way, of course. Johnny Gargano versus Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole versus, unfortunately, the champion, Karrion Kross. I'm not high on Kross. Never have been. I wasn't high on him before he was Karrion Kross. I think he does that sort of really intense thing. I'm going to kill you all. Anyone can do that, even if it's bad like I just did it. And then he has that power thing going on. So that's all he has, really, in my view. Adam Cole is still over. Baby, boom, still over. Great. And so he should be. Lost a bit of muscle, looks like to me. Needs to get back in the gym, little boy. Anyway, this is a really good match when Karrion Kross is not there. He brings it back. And I'm having a look here. We've got early on a doubled suplex. I mean, he takes 2 people over, does Karrion Kross. And we're told, we've seen this before from Karrion Kross. We have, sadly. And people are wise to it. They don't like it. There's boos when he does his... When he's wrestling, there are boos. And that's not just good heel heat. It's not that. It's go away heat. And I'm not keen on... Well, it's just not working for him, is it? When he's not there, it's really rather good. They push him through the door to the in-your-house set as if to say, you can leave now, we'll take it from here. And quite right. There is a very nice DDT counter from Gargano on Dunne, who then immediately lawn darts him into everyone else for a long 2. Very good. Karrion Kross picks up Gargano. It's a really nasty choke throw into the apron. And he hits right at the top of his neck. That's not ideal, really. Dunne gets double joint manipulation. He gets 2 hands in there. Karrion Kross, as he does quite a lot in this match, ruins it. And they are desperate by coming in and doing some work. They're desperate to get him out of there. At one point, O'Reilly and Cole work together to bomb him through the announce table, which does not break. So he must be in quite a lot of pain. He's holding his arm when he comes up. Yeah, it's not great. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, yeah. There is a lovely modified DDT from Gargano on Kross, and then one on Dunne, who is on the outside. This is the move of the match. Perhaps it might be the move of the night, actually. It's either that or the Michinoku driver. Anyway, he dives through the middle ropes, catches Dunne seamlessly, and DDTs him on the outside. All in one fluid movement. I'm not massively high on Gargano, but he didn't half give me some really good work here tonight. And that needs to be applauded. So what else have we got? Oh yeah, Gargano escape on 2 men. Don't often see that. Double super kick to Dunne as he comes off the top. That's lovely. And then a Panama Sunrise to Gargano. It's always lovely to see that work. Dunne then gets Kross in the triangle. It's broken up, but you do see him going out a bit. And we need to see more of that weakness from Kross. Of course, in the end, he puts O'Reilly in the Kross jacket, and he goes out, not to the pub or to a party. He actually becomes unconscious, and it's called off. So he's still the champion. The crowd are silent. And you see where we are. You push him too far. You push him too quickly. NXT has usually been Keith Lee accepted, the province of champions of smaller men who can go, who can wrestle. And Kross is not really at home there. In Your House is not his house. I can't wait to see him called up to the main roster, because then we'll never hear from him again. And the last moment you see is Regal leaving the building, and talking about all of the bedlam tonight and saying maybe it's time for a change. At which quite a few in the crowd simultaneously shout, "No!" Because that's the heart of it. It was the small federation that could, or the small brand extension that could. And it is for those people who are smaller, who can wrestle, and who will either agree with or not, and we'll get them over for you. That doesn't happen with Karrion Kross. And this is patchy. It's about 3.5 out of 5, but I tell you what, it does not show what the crowd think works. And that's something that Triple H needs to take away and mull over. Ta-ta.